I just want to say congratulations to Holly and to Charlotte. Project Com has been recognised on 2 counts for some awards by the SCA, so that's very well done to everyone involved. Finally, Stash, that closes on Wednesday, so please order. Cheers.
Okay, so Take a Break starts next. That campaign starts tomorrow. It's about a month long. So we've got tea and toast every week. We've got society suggested every week. We've also got some mindfulness apps. Follow the Butler Welfare page is where most of it's going because we don't want to spam through.
We wanted to do like a mindfulness thing every week, because we wanted to do a workshop originally, but that's quite difficult to organise. So we're going to recommend an app that hopefully everyone can use every week to help them meditate and be mindful. And we also are going to be posting everything every week to look out on the Butler Welfare page for that. And also in regards to our supplies orders, that was originally gone down, and we now have access to all the supplies orders. So anything that was ordered in the past month will be put in your post boxes or the supplies box by the end of tomorrow, and then from then on we'll be running normally again. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been doing really well, still very strong. I just want to encourage everyone to use it as much as possible. Use it as an exam break, just if you pop in for a coffee, or during the day or the evening if you don't want to cook. We've just released a new vegan curry, which has gone down really well. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but apparently it's been really nice. So if you want to try that, give it a go. JB's is now open Monday to Friday, 5:30 till 9, because there's no more mentor nights. So you can still get food on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And just to reiterate what Sam said, we've got the breakfast starting tomorrow, and it's Monday to Friday, starting 7:30 till 10. And that's everything. Thanks.
Hi everybody, hope you had a good Easter. Just 3 things from me. 1, cocktails are officially in the works, so I'll let you know what's happening with that, but we'll have a little subcommittee to get them sorted for a few events, hopefully this term. We've also got BT and Sky now, as you guys might have heard, a couple of events coming up in the next few weeks or so. FA Cup final and Eurovision final on the 18th, the Championship playoff final on the 27th, and the Champions League. If you guys want anything else broadcasted or chucked on TV, please let me know. Send me a message. Try and sort it out. And Bill Sock trying to organise a movie in the bar sometime this term before the end of exams, just as a relaxing evening event. I'll let you guys know about that.
Charlie, thank you. Right, so last week we had a sports formal, which went really well, so well done, Bryony. That was really good. Wish I could remember it, but heard it was fun. So well done to everyone who got awards. It was a fabulous night. Things that are coming. Well, things that are happening now is social sports is happening now. So every week, usually on Sundays. I know Emily is organising some social sports sessions, so it'd be really good if you guys want to go to those. It's great for just de-stress. Last week it was rounders at Millfield Field. This week it was frisbee, and next week it'll be dodgeball in the Howlands. So come along to that. And just after exams on the 9th of June, we have the Festival of Sport. So it'd be really good for you guys to get involved in that, either playing or just on the sidelines, just to get a good atmosphere. Also, there's a Durham Regatta from the 8th to the 9th of June. I know it clashes with Butler Day, but it'd be great if you guys could come along to that, at least for the one day on the 9th. Also, if you're in any sports teams, please make sure to organise your AGM soon as well, just so we can get a budget in just by the 17th of June or so, and then send over contacts to me. Next, CharityCom is organising, as Judith mentioned, the World versus England charity match on the 11th of June. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That should be good fun. And finally, basketball organising a 24-hour sort of charity basketball event as well in the coming future. So look out for that as well. That's it for me. Thank you.
So for me, sports formal has just happened. It was a really big success compared to last year. No problems. I was very nervous the whole way through, but it was fully great. That had 150 people who didn't get on who signed up. So that was really good subscription rates. I hope that happens for every formal. The only issue that we do have that I wanted to address for everyone here is that if you have dietary requirements and you're buying a ticket, so say you didn't get on and you're buying someone else's ticket, make sure that person that you're buying that ticket from has the same dietary requirements as you, because the food that we get in is food that's not made at college, and we have the numbers of that certain food, and that's it. Some people at Sports Formal unfortunately did go without a meal because they bought tickets they bought tickets that weren't non-dairy, and they were non-dairy. So just when you're selling and buying tickets, make sure you're saying, and if you're signing up big groups, so if you're signing up with friends, make sure you double check with them before, like what their dietary requirements are, because we can't cater for people on the day. We can only cater for people who have pre-ordered. On a happier note, coming up is Love Island. It's starting soon. So I want to bring back, for anyone who was here last year, the much anticipated Love Island social that unfortunately didn't happen. That's going to come just after exams, so keep your eye out for that. And our first social com meeting will be tomorrow here in the bar at 7. And we're just going to discuss social com. No, we're going to discuss the Love Island social and formal themes for next year. That's it. Thanks.
So I've made an Instagram at other societies, please follow that. Starting to make new societies, any ideas about that, please message me. Societies are starting to have their AGMs as well. If there's any societies struggling with their AGM, please message me as well. We had society sports committee photos, which went quite well, even though it took ages. I'm also hoping to do a one-take video around college showcasing all the societies, so if anyone wants to be involved in that, just message me. And that's about it.
Oh, okay. Just really quickly for me, graduating students, there are still spaces on the barbecue and the dinners if you feel like signing up. Thanks.
A couple of things from me, I'll keep it brief. We've obviously been in amongst the operations review recently. The results of that are coming out very, very soon. I'll keep updated for what that actually means going forward. Hopefully we'll be able to mitigate against any impact too big. So that should be fine. Website, every time I come up here, I feel like I say the same thing. It really pains me that I have to say it every single time. But now I see light at the end of the tunnel. We've had a few bumps in the road, but we're about to commit to go with the company to get that developed. That should be in place for the end of August. So that is coming, that is exciting. A couple of things I posted on Facebook the other week. Thank you for people who got back to me about naming the Jon Snow building. So basically, for those of you who don't know, when Jon Snow at the end of the year moved off the site, the top of it is becoming Stevenson MCR space, and the bottom is becoming shared space between Butler and Stevenson. So when we have the Howards, they have that space. But we need a name for it that isn't just the old Snow building. Old shop, I'm looking at you. But yeah, so thank you for the suggestions. We have really good ones. There's a Google Sheet if anyone wants to submit a suggestion for that. It's a great way to leave your mark on the site. Also, for popping magazines in the Barnstone newspapers, got a lot of good suggestions. I'll be taking them to Adrian next week so we can get some stuff ordered. Sky Sports is back, absolutely love it. Today was a pretty intense bar, happy days. Summer Ball, we got a water ticket in for the first time, so we've made Summer Ball the cheapest it's ever been since we've taken out of college, which is really, really good to see. Other stuff, there's a lot of motion tonight about splitting roles up. Basically, the thinking behind a lot of this is to give everyone a greater chance to actually get involved and do stuff, and also spread the weight across more people. I feel like one thing that's happened is a lot of the exec positions, with the increase in the size of the college, have the intensity has increased, and that workload, so we're trying to spread that out. So hopefully you'll see that through the motions. Free breakfast starts tomorrow, fantastic time, Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 10. That'll be really good for anyone, especially living in college, but everyone's invited. And finally, it is exam time. Do remember to look after yourselves, take a break. We've got lots of stuff going on around college as well for you to get involved in. But it's really, really important this time. You're looking after yourselves, you're looking after others that you're around. That's really important. And finally, good luck to everyone running for positions tonight. It's so, so good to see so many people running for positions. So best of luck. Thank you.
So, I think we are on our report, so we'll have some Oxford and I know the master varieties. So, we're on the ratings now. For the amount of the is running on. Hi everyone. There is nothing in the standing order of the matter to say that you have any knowledge of any. This has been a significant break on Patrick's work for the past year. We weren't given the training on any sort of software, so we want to add in a provision so that the outgoing editors training the incoming editors on some sort of software that they've used to create the mount. It would mean that you'd probably get more issues and that they'd be done faster and be up to date and would lessen the workload of the mount editor. Right, so we're going to go first. Vote again. Any abstentions? Right, okay, that motion is approved. So, okay, the next one, this is a motion to put J for the safety to form the emergency program and start
So as we probably all know now, the uni is doing a bit of nice restructuring. So basically, a lot of the staff that we see day to day, we've got strong relationships with. Some of them could be either getting a lot more workload or losing their jobs altogether. And I think that as a JCR, we should formally oppose this and stand with them. It doesn't just affect them, it affects us as well. Currently, there's no fashion show on the calendar. So if you liked fashion show, then maybe you should oppose the staff cuts. There we go.
Thank you, James. If you can hand up in favor of the motion. Against. Abstentions. So we've got the fourth motion, which is based on that as a report.
So hi everyone, my name is Zane, and this year we came up with the idea to have a textile talk in Butler, and we just got a lot of speakers from the college to come up and share ideas, and we had people perform, such as the Butler dance troupe, and we had a magician come in, and it was a really wonderful event where people had the opportunity to just share their ideas and have a platform to talk with other people at the college. And so we just want to formalize this into an official yearly event that will happen at Butler, and people will get voted in for it, and every year people will have the opportunity to stand up here and talk about things that interest them and their passions. So yeah, that's all I have to say, I think.
Okay, thank you, James. If you can have anyone on the oh, sorry, yeah, so any questions on that? Okay, so if we can have hands up in favor of the corporation, hands up against, and any abstentions? Right, okay, so that motion is approved. So, what is the state for the recall motion?
So, like Tom said, with the college kind of growing each year, I think the role of green chairs kind of grown a bit. So it'd be nice to have it split into two roles, and also I think that will encourage more people to run for it in the coming JCR election. That's everything. Thanks.
Right, thank you. So the screen is there for questions on that.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Okay, so votes have been given by majorities, and hand over the favor of the motion, and the vote against, Extensions. Okay, so the motion is through. In order to see the motion to divide the current LGBT plus rec roles into two roles and identical rec and one routine rec.
I will try and be as fast as possible, but I definitely won't be as fast as Sam. Basically, at the moment, there's an LGBT plus rep, and they provide information, welcome support specifically around LGBT plus issues. They also run the campaign week and events. But the thing is, basically, we're just thinking that that's a very broad group of people for one representative to actually represent. So we'd like to split that role in half and have an identity rep, which is focusing on sexual, I do get them confused. So one's more like sexual identity, one's like more gender orientation, because we think that this will actually help people within the college actually be represented for their experiences. So they'll mirror the same jobs, each with their own focus, but of course, identity rep will focus more on sexual identity, orientation more on orientation. Sorry, the motion's really long, but basically, they'll be part of the welfare team. They'll run the LGBT week, and they'll split the responsibilities of LGBT rep, but have a slightly different focus each. And we hope this will increase representation in the college, which is obviously really important. Sorry.
Thank you, Lauren. Do we have any questions? Okay, so we'll take another vote. So those in the motion, hands up please. Those against the motion? Abstentions? Okay, so that motion has been passed. And as a result of that, I'd like to raise a procedural motion. So the LGBT cluster is not for the election in this meeting. But I'm very we'll probably listen to that for the following meeting so that everyone is in one of the consider the motion to be effective. So there's plenty of motion of we're probably electing the LGBT cluster in the next meeting. And those against. Abstentions? Okay, so the LGBT cluster will be elected the following meeting on 16th of June. Okay, so I think Charlotte Thompson today for the motion for the intergenerational project leader and RD project leader.
Hi guys, so this is another one of a restructuring one. So this is based around projects committee, which for those of you that don't know is basically we organise all of the volunteering within college. So at the moment we've got a volunteer rep who organise that, and then underneath projects committee as a whole, we've got different projects. So the one you probably hear us talk most about is the intergenerational project. We also do work with RT. We also do like outreach stuff to schools. We've done amazing this year. It's been really, really good, so successful. But it's pretty much just too much work for a volunteer rep and the VP to do together. So our plan is to restructure it and have, like Oisin said, have a project leader for RT, have a project leader for Intergen, and then this will then change the standing orders of the volunteering coordinator. So that way the volunteer coordinator can focus on setting up new projects, which at the moment they don't have time to do. They also run volunteer week, and they also promote volunteering in general across college. So that's how their standing orders will change. The intergenerational project leader will then promote intergenerational project events. They'll publicise those. That will then hopefully get more people coming to those. There'll be one person focused on that, and then we'll have the RT leader doing the equivalent. So the RT project leader will promote RT events, publicise and just those. So just adds a bit more structure in that way. And having people focusing just on their own projects or just on promoting volunteering as a whole will hopefully, have more involvement and give people more recognition for what they do. Because at the moment we have people doing that and they're just not getting
that recognition. So the plan will be, we'll have VP, and then the volunteer coordinator will feed back to them, and then under the volunteer coordinator will have intergen afterwards, and that will hopefully be the new structure. Cool, thanks guys.
Thank you, Charlotte. So, does anyone have any questions on that?
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, so the plan will be after this, if this does go ahead, it'll be a procedural motion because at the moment volunteer reps up for this meeting, so that will get shifted back. And then, so that just gives people an opportunity to decide if they do want to run for Intergen or RT and then promote them. So it'll be a JCR elected position as opposed to in the way that like a society would have an AGM and then vote. Just because it's a committee, it will come from the meeting. Cool.
Any further questions from anyone? Okay, so I'm going to put this in my mind because it's very so anyone will be in college. Does anyone have any more questions for that? Okay, so I'm going to the online and the result of that. So, version, so volunteer would otherwise be upgraded in this meeting. Obviously, it's very on this meeting and the version starts to talk about the past and what it is probably effective for the year. So, the way to withhold the extra volunteer until the following is for you. So, then we have in favor of the version. Okay, so the volunteer is now going to be held on, volunteer is now going to be held on the 16th of June. Okay, so what do the elections? So up first, we have the LGBT rep. So I don't know before speaking about this election. Oh, sorry. We have 3 minutes, so we're speaking about that. And we're also speaking about the rep. First election, after the student position, is one individual. So, anyone else interested in talking about the stage now? If not, we will go to the next meeting. Okay, so this one I'm going to go to the next meeting. Next session is the so I'm going to go through but anyone would like to step up now to one position, then please come to the stage. Anyone has a question for the video this way? Great opportunity to make one video. Anyone? Okay, anyone who is making order again? So, next question is the mail so this is the individual forecast. This is to create Butler non-ID and input as the I'm not in the version, but if anyone interested in starting, please come to the stage. Okay, so now we're going to go as well. This is very great. So this section is utility share or shares. So this is the individual order. So again, does anyone want to be running for utility share? So we come to the stage. Anyone support? Right, okay, so that's going to go over to the next meeting. So, the next question is the national officers, 2 people spoke about this. Okay, so it looks like we've got some candidates for the election. So, are you voting on it? Are you voting on it? Okay, so if one of you wants to, if you want to start with yourself, who goes first? Okay, so if one is putting everyone Okay, so Darren, you can take it further, and first of all, we will take on Eva. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Eva. You probably all made some French by now, I'm sure. So I want to be part of the committee because I've participated at I think every event organized during International Freshers Week, and that was amazing. I found that incredibly helpful to have me settle in, feel at home right away, and meet some of my good friends that are internationals before I even met my home student friends. I think the committee is very important for every international student here, fresher or second year or third year, because even though we, at least I think, 10 or 12% of the college, we're underrepresented, not in the exact position, but maybe in the audience tonight. So I think I want the community to have a bigger part in college life, and it organized very successful events this year thanks to Matteo and the two assistant officers, such as Diwali or Chinese New Year and the International Festival. I'd like to have organized International Freshers Week. As I say, it was a highlight of my experience in the first day of college. I think it's crucial for freshers to meet new students, other internationals, but as well second years. And I want us to reach out and encourage every international future freshers to come early, maybe by sending them the guide early, maybe by mail or email or by post, so they can know that there's event organized all throughout the 4 days before the home students arrive. And make sure no one is isolated during those first day of college, because obviously there's not that many people in college, and it's less intimidating to meet new students and the preps. I'd like as well the committee to work with other colleges, such as Stevenson, obviously, our neighbors, to have more people to international events, maybe, and create ties with other international students, since we're not a lot in college. And maybe begin that even during Freshers Week to ties with the other international freshers there. Obviously, I want to help Judith in everything she wants to organize next year, starting with the language study scheme. So we can find someone to speak our native language with, or language we're learning at the moment. And we could work with Stevenson for that event to find new students to speak with and have maybe more languages represented and cultures. And we could maybe as well reach out to languages societies to help organize the events this year and next year. And if possible, I don't know if it is, talk about the days we have international com organized, because Tuesdays are very busy. And that's it. Thank you very much. If you have any questions.
Okay, so thank you, Eva, and everyone is welcome to the stage. Meeting.
Hi everyone. Before I move here, the reason I'm running for national officer is because when I first came here, I was quite nervous about coming to a new country. And one of the, I think, best things, if not the best thing, that helped me sort of get integrated and feel very comfortable when I first came here was the fact that not only that the preps were here, but also the fact that there is an international committee and we came here a week early. And they kind of adjusted us and they taught us the important things about us. And what to do as assistant national She's been absolutely fantastic in the past year. Member of the international team. And I think she's got fantastic plans for the next year. She's to integrate international schools to the college and to kind of introduce international students more into the college, as well as having things like the language cafe to encourage people to practice on. So yeah, that's, I think her plans for next year are absolutely fantastic, and I think a really great opportunity to help next year's international students and to like be sort of integrated quite quickly and be comfortable. Stick to people. I think that's.
Okay, so thank you, Zane. So if we could now welcome to the stage Alexander Meeting. For a round of applause.
Hello, my name is Gerald. I'm a first year economics and politics student. I'm here for the role of assistant international officer today. As my looks may have already suggested, I am international. So I am Chinese. I grew up in China. I moved to Sweden when I was 14 for high school, and now I'm in the UK. So my experience had given me the taste of how different cultures can, differ from each other, and also about the difficulties international students are going to meet when they move to Durham next year. So I believe this will allow me to better communicate with the freshers from different backgrounds and offer them help whenever they need. I also understand that the job is not just about freshers week. So if I am elected assistant officer, I will be trying my best to support and assist students throughout the year and implement ideas. So I'm personally a big fan of her language evaluation scheme. This year I've actually applied for one for Spanish, but never really got a chance to that one. Which is why I think sort of setting up a scheme in our very diverse and international college is actually not only just a very good use of our resources, but also a way for international students to get to sort of bond with the overall student community. I'm also very supportive of her idea of organising more fun and inclusive events at the International Com, and I have many previous experiences organising events. So in the second year of my high school, I worked as the faces mama for my boarding house and organised all sorts of leisure and sports activities, as well as about 60 or 50 different inter-house sports matches. So I believe such organisational skills may be very useful for the role next year. So if we wrap it up, I'm an international. I am clear about what I'm supposed to do as an assistant, and also I'm willing to work hard as a mini officer to benefit the international community at Butler. So if you add the three up, international, assistant, and officer, well, by basic arithmetic, you pretty much get the answer. And, at least I got the answer, which is why I'm running. So, thank you.
You want to say, so we'll have questions now. Everyone, okay, so do we have any questions from anybody? For assistant international officers?
So a lot of international freshers find it hard to integrate all the things like many of them don't come from any different accounts. So what do you think better in the future to get integrate more, especially
the most important thing, really highlight to them before they come what actually happened in that week preceding, and to really explain either with, I think there was like this really cool handbook that was out this year. I think probably something a little bit more, I guess, flashy, just to attract on the infographic or something, just to tell them we want you to come in a week early and this is why, and just to kind of say, well, we'll take you to IKEA, which is a very nice trip, I remember, and to Tesco and all that sort of thing, and kind of show you around the area. And the thing that a lot of, I guess, those students have, that international students sometimes they dropped off by their parents, or sort of on trips around stores and get stuff like that. And they kind of say, well, this is the way sort of do that and I know probably a similar answer here because I met with my friend on that thing and kind of just felt like this. And I think that's probably the best way to show in a more attentive way what is in store when it comes to that
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I think it's very important from the start to make sure everybody knows about the day. I think we very really had everything already planned in the 4 days. With friends, because we need to meet each other and feel alone. So I think sending them prior to the start of the year, which is the guide, stadium, and make sure they know about the events when they're closing by the press or the borders as always because everything. But yeah, I think meeting other students during the student trips was a great opportunity to feel at home, and yeah, I think that's it.
Just want to confirm, so your question was actually about, so what if people, like international students, they don't come over international freshers week? Correct. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So what I feel about it is I would actually personally prefer a kind of one-to-one thing. So if I have the chance, I will actually try and approach as many international students as possible to actually talk with them personally. Because when I just started here, I wasn't here for International Freshers Week, and International Com was actually just a stall at the Freshers Fair. So when I spoke to people there and talked about the first meeting, I wasn't really sure what's going to happen because I didn't know any other international students, and I don't really know if I'd be able to sort of have meet people or find someone in the first meeting. But it would be really nice if we could actually talk to people and be like, welcome, and so they at least have one familiar face when they come over and they know. They feel like they know someone already, and I think that's going to encourage them to come to the first meeting. And if that does well, I think they're going to be encouraged to come more often in the future.
Thank you. So we have another question on that. So there.
Yeah, of course, on the presenting, yes, there was one student is a practical, unfortunately. But as we understand, like, spread into the workload. So I was wondering, like, what's your experience like, helping people from maybe, different nations that we over last time work from different over the years, you're like, committed.
How many events do you for graduates?
I think the assistant helped Judith with organizing the events, for example, and come with her to the weekly meetings, maybe, and make sure we are known by the other freshers that we have in the committee, and maybe lead some of the committee meetings. So Judith has less to do, maybe, because I mean that's a new role, obviously. So maybe create a theme each for each meeting, and one of the assistants or even freshers could lead the meeting and yeah, organize it.
Yeah, so I agree with that.
Okay, well, actually, I think I need a bit more time to formulate my answer. Do you actually mind if I mean,
If you want to answer first, let each time.
oh, well, then, yeah, sure. So what's the question again?
The question is, how can you best help Judith put forward her
By put forward, do you mean like to
implement?
implement? Brilliant. Sorry, international stuff here. So, well, I think first of all, we should probably talk about it. Wait, actually, I think I screwed up, but I'm probably going to need a bit more time to think about it.
Well, I kind of would just agree with what he says and what I've kind of said previously, to look at all the different ideas. And it is very difficult for one person to kind of implement all the different ideas that Judith might have. I think she did put forward plenty of really great ones when she came up here and was elected. And so I think it's possibly we could even, in a sense, delegate roles to other people within the international committee who are not just the assistant officers and the international assistant officers. We could actually delegate. We did kind of do that this year in a small way when we did during International Week, and different people wrote blogs about the country that they come from, and that worked out really well because it kind of was a lot more engaging to not just international students but all the students in the college, and they really found it very interesting. So I think that's possibly, in my opinion, the best way to do it, which is to kind of delegate to the assistant officers as well as other members of international committee to also give them part of. I'd like to give them a part of the
How about our current assistant international officers and staff? The question is, what is the best international event?
I don't know if this counts as an event, but I think what we talked about before, the week that we had before Freshers Week, that was like I think the best time that international students got a time to really look around the area and really meet other people who are like-minded and who are in the same spot as themselves, and to also meet all the sort of preps and other international officers who have been in the same position and know what it feels like, and just to kind of guide them, but also kind of make fun of them sometimes and be, take them on shopping trips and stuff. So I think it's not an event, it's the week before Freshers Week for me.
Sure. Okay. All right. So basically for me, because I'm Chinese person, so I would definitely prefer Chinese. Because what I realized is that although we do have a very large Chinese population in the college, the Chinese community is actually not as integrated with the rest of the college as we would expect them to be. So that's something I want to make a change about, and also I kind of feel like this Chinese New Year is a way of actually showing Chinese students that we are interested in your culture and we want to know more about it. And if we keep that going, we might be able to bring more of them into the college, into the community. So I think that's something really good.
I have to agree with Dane. I'd say International Freshers Week for me was a highlight, especially the IK trip. No kidding. Because we were all together before the home students, so we had more time to settle in. I think it's important to recognize that we have more to think about when we arrive, and obviously we're not in our country, we don't have anyone we know. So I think to create ties with the others, meet some friends, and the preps was really important. So I encourage every future international freshers to come and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to process some of this session online because there are 3 people and it's single transferable version is quite easy to do in person. So hands up in favour of holding this version online, please. And those against. Okay, so this one is this, election will be held online, please. So thank you, usually. Okay, so our next election is the assistant sports officer. So we have one female sports officer elected in the last meeting, and so the other position, the male assistant, is up for that meeting. So I'm having some people in this, so if you want to run for assistant sports officer, please come to the stage. If you can please welcome Warren to the stage.
Hi everyone, I'm Gwen and I want to be your next assistant sports officer. I'm currently involved in a few sports myself. I do badminton, butler tennis, butler pool, and hopefully after exams I'll get involved in a few more things such as butler darts and also frisbee. I'm also an honorary member of the butler badminton team because I'm not allowed to play, but I join all the socials. And I want to be your next sports officer because I want to help Ellie make sports bigger and better at Butler. And I just want to help improve overall participation in sports. I think I'll be good for this role because I already do a few sports at Butler itself, of which I don't think Ellie does any of them. And also, I think I'm quite a social and friendly member who people will, who people feel comfortable approaching and messaging if they have any problems or if there's anything they want to say or anything like that. Also, Ellie currently lives in Charlesgate, so she lives quite far away from Butler. So I'm in college at the moment, so if there's any problems in college, I can quickly sort them out on her behalf. And one idea I have in particular to help improve participation in Butler sports is I think at the moment a lot of people feel a bit uncomfortable starting new sport because they don't know anyone who plays that sport itself, or they don't know enough members, so they feel a bit uncomfortable going individually. So I think one thing which the sports team could do is create a few more mixed socials of all the sports together, so you can come and meet people who do the sport already, and that way you feel less apprehensive about joining the sport itself. People want to work with that. Take part. Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any questions for Web for assistant sports officer? Any questions over there?
Hi, Web. If there was one thing you could think about those last few
I would like to see if we can get more people involved in the varsity event. So there's still a few events where there was like limited participation, and like for example quiz, I know that there was a few people applying for it, and see if we can try and encourage more people to go out for it, and hopefully more mixed events as well. At the moment in Butler, there's quite a lot of like single sex events, and especially stuff like I know Rana's already has mixed events, but like more mixed events would be fun together to do. Yeah.
So, any other questions for Web for assistant sports officer? Anyone opposed? Okay,
If you want to join your club in the middle of the year, so it's Easter, what can you think of to encourage people to?
Well, the thing which I mentioned already was the mixed sports socials which will be happening throughout the year. So that way people might feel like they suddenly want to start a sport, they can join that mixed sports social. They can start to make friends already, and that way they'll be more inclined to join the sport. Also, we do the refreshers event, but potentially we could about having like on an application or another refreshers event after exams that people should consider again too.
Any other questions for Wendy? No, any extensions? Okay, well, we congratulate our viewers. Right, so the next person up for grabs is the Assistant Society Officer. So this is one individual and the other individual have already filled. So do we have anyone interested in running for Assistant Society Officer? You get to work with the lovely people in America. No? Anyone else? No? Okay, so let's have that one rolling into the next meeting. So the next election then will be the assistant welfare officers. So I've had some people contact me about this. So if you would like to please come to the stage. And if you want to decide between the two of you, who wants to go first?
Hello, my name is Katie and I study history. I'm running for Assistant Welfare Officer because mental health has always been a very personal issue for me. I would love the opportunity to help and support people the same way I've been supported in the past. It is important to talk about mental health as much as possible and to make sure that it's not trivialised or stigmatised. An important thing to make people aware of is that mental health is as serious as physical health. Personally, I left school halfway through my GCSEs when I became ill, and it took me a while to realise that my illness was actually anxiety and not anything physical. There had been no support system to turn to at my school, and I ended up spending a year out of education suffering from depression. I managed to get back on my feet and back into education by reaching out to people, and I'm now here at Durham because of it. One of the main reasons I chose Josephine Butler as my college was due to the fact that I knew that there were such good support systems in place for me. I've learned how to cope with my anxiety so it no longer gets in the way of what I want to do. I want to develop the negative experiences of my past into something positive by helping as many people as I can through welfare. I'm dependable and organised. I've experienced volunteering as this year at Durham I volunteered and judged at 2 nationwide debating competitions, one of which was for school children. One of the things I'd be interested in doing would be making it very clear to freshers that if they were nervous about doing things, such as visiting the library by themselves on that first Freshers Week, that they can always reach out to student welfare for some support, so that I can show them around the library, show them where things are, and give them the confidence to be able to explore Durham by themselves. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Katie. And if we could welcome Mary to the stage.
Hi, I'm Miriam and I'm a first year psychology student and I would love to be an assistant welfare officer. I was really drawn to welfare because I love that we have a collegiate system here, and I think the fact that we have a collegiate welfare system is like really special and unique to Butler and to Durham, and I want to be more involved in it. I've gained a lot from coming to welfare committee meetings. I've learned about so many opportunities that are available to help students and seeing how welfare committee operates. And especially as the welfare committees and all the committees in general at the backbone of the college, I think it's really important to have a greater understanding of them, and I'd love to help out with them more. I love going to meetings and also suggesting some ideas like the positivity posters, which you may have seen some of them already around the study rooms, and also advertising things like tea and toast in the study rooms, all as part of the Take a Break campaign, because a lot of people who are in the study rooms really do need to take a break. And I think I'm quite suited to this role because I'm very organised and I'm a really good team member. I'm the current Shabbat officer for the Jewish Society at Durham, and as this role I have to organise weekly events for a society that has 200 members, and coordinate with college staff as well as organising interfaith events. And doing this, I've had to coordinate with the outreach officer, the president, the vice president to make sure all goes smoothly. I was also deputy head girl at my school, so I had to organise events for the whole of Year 13, as well as charity fundraising events. I've also, for the Jewish Society, organised events where I had sponsors from external organisers. And I've also been a leader for a children's winter day camp, so I've organised and planned daily activities for a week for 4 to 5-year-olds. And I was also the founder and president of my school's psychology society, where I hosted discussion events and got in external speakers from universities and lots of different disciplines within psychology. So I think I'm quite suited to this role. I'd love to help them more. I've been a tutor for 3 years as well, so I love volunteering and getting involved in helping people. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Okay, so I think we're welcome to take back to the stage, and do we have any questions from the audience, please?
So there's a few requests that so wondering A is about everyone, but yeah, definitely got everyone, and also if you have any ideas for what to handle.
Well, tea and toast is a favourite of mine, so I'd love to carry on with that going on more frequently throughout the year. I also think maybe some sessions for like organisation and mindfulness help people keep on top of everything throughout the year. I know that a lot of the time people kind of like forget about studying a bit and going into term, and then at summer season it all gets a bit much. So maybe having some sessions where it encourages people to balance things properly so that they'll go into season or exam season, just to help everyone keep balanced and stay focused and stay calm throughout the whole year.
Hello, I also really love the Take the Break week because I felt quite stressed myself this week. But another week that I thought was particularly important was Consent Week, because I think that that's very important, especially for freshers coming to university to learn about consent. One of the weeks that I would maybe suggest would be something to do with sort of healthy living, because I find that when I have lots of summatives, it's quite hard to remember to eat well and to make sure I actually do eat and to make sure that I get enough rest and I exercise as well. So that would be something that would be very important to me.
Okay, anyone else with any more questions?
Okay, well, I would take them aside and I would ask them first if they wanted to sort of go to a neutral environment to chat. I'd probably take them to a cafe where we could sit down and I could talk through the problems that they had. But I would also make sure that they knew the support systems that were in place, because I know that just me alone, I'm not going to be able to help somebody to, enough of a degree. So I would also recommend all of the support systems in place and encourage them through my own experiences, because I also had quite a difficult Precious Week. So I would make sure that I related my own experiences and that they knew that they could always contact me throughout the year.
I had a lot of friends who started university earlier than I did, so I was actually on the receiving end of a lot of calls from friends saying that they wanted to drop out, they didn't like it, they weren't ready. I would also take them aside, chat to them, let them know it is Freshers Week, it is a very busy time. Freshers Week isn't really representative of a whole university experience, so to maybe just give it time, let them know that I'm always there to talk to, maybe give them, make sure that they can meet up with me once a week, every few days, let me know how it's going, if they need any more advice, and let them know all the events that are there, because Freshers Week is very overwhelming. Maybe suggest a more chilled event if they're into that, or just some lights off and let them know that yes, there is a lot going on in Freshers Week, going to go to everything, and just take some time for yourself, make sure you're cool, your friends at home, your family at home, and making sure that you are feeling at home at uni, because it is very overwhelming for a lot of people moving away from home for the first time, and there's so much going on. Just encourage themselves to take a bit of time for themselves, and to also know that there are people there to speak to if they need it.
Any other questions from the audience?
So what I did is, and especially when people are meeting others, really put it out loud into the event. So what do you think?
I think one of the best ways to increase attendance for anything is a lot of social media and advertising. I didn't really know for a while where welfare events were taking place, when they were, what was going on. So I think having a lot more advertisements out there, in different flats around college, just so that everyone can see them. And also letting people know more about the drop-ins. I feel like that's something that's not really that known about, where they are, when they take place, how anyone can go, whatever time, within the slot that they have. Just for a lot more advertising, posters, spreading the word.
Okay, perhaps I would have in Freshers Week, perhaps something I would have is to make sure that there are leaflets in everyone's flat with an image of the welfare officers and a bit about their background, because I think one of the important things to do is make us very human and very relatable, and to show that we've been through the same struggles. So I think as well, we could have our Facebook contact media on there as well, because I know a lot of people are quite scared to reach out in person and to maybe even physically go to these events in the first place, so that they could first reach out through social media, get to know us, and then they can perhaps think about the drop-ins.
Okay, any other questions from the audience? Over here. So for those of you who I was wondering if you could make sure that we're looking at that way of welfare for you.
Well, I thought that one thing that was really good that Neat did was that they have, we have drop-ins at the library. I thought that was really good, and I think that we could continue that. And yeah, and maybe even sort of have something where we could go and meet up in cafes, because I know that that's quite a relaxed environment, and it's something that is, it kind of gets you away from the whole university experience, because I know sometimes I associate the library with stress. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to carry on the drop-ins in the library, maybe also the SU, some more central locations for the Zal, and also maybe if there are people on the welfare committee who could be we have livers out representatives of different areas. So if people are okay with welfare supplies, I know it can be quite difficult for people to come all the way to college to pick up welfare supplies from a box. But if they're okay with dropping them off to a location maybe in different colleges, or if they're okay with staying where they live and dropping them off to their houses, from maybe like some different welfare officers who live in certain areas and are close by could do that. So yeah.
Okay, so I think that will be it for the questions. So if no one can ask the word, please. So if everybody could close their eyes. Can we please have votes in favour of Kate as your new assistant welfare officer? And those in favour of Miriam? Any abstentions? Okay, now just we're going to go through that and make it quite tight, so just to make sure that we've got the correct person. So if you could vote yes, please, and again, we vote votes in favour of Kate as your new welfare officer, please. This is not right. Okay, and those in favour of Miriam, please. Aye. Okay, so this is very tight, so we can't, like, some things can go twice, so we're going to put it online so that it's fair. So if you want to get everybody in the line of yours. And so that election will go on online tomorrow. So, on to our next election. So this is for the chair's election. So I believe we have Sharif Musafi along with Aisha and Mel on that this one. So you want to decide if you can do that and one of you come on the stage. Okay, so if we could welcome Patrick Spencer and Mel's parents to the stage, please.
Hi, I'm Aisha and this is Mel. We're both first year historians and we'd love to be your children representation. So our main agenda as children reps would be to really rebrand the child image by emphasising the inclusivity of these activities to everyone, whether quieter students, international students, maybe you just want a break from dance or whether drinkers, non-drinkers, anyone. We just want to provide a social but casual space for everyone. And we spoke to Jenny, who was one of our reps, and she really emphasised the importance of advertising. So going on from that, we'd make sure that we advertise via all forms of social media. We'd go into flats and talk face to face so that everyone's really aware of all the activities that are going on, so they have all the options available to them. We also had the idea of using icons when advertising to kind of visually show what is involved in all these activities. So, for instance, we could have like a camera or like photo opportunities, and maybe a bowl for if it's going on inside butler, for example. Yeah.
So I thought we could just like run through some of the ideas that we came up with. So from our own precious experience, there were so many things that we really want to carry on if we get chosen as your child reps. So classics like TV shows, the welfare, and things like the acoustic night in the tent that was really well. And we've also got some of our own ideas that we really think would be like a pretty. So things like we'd love to do strolls around Durham, like cafe strolls, like strolls and mocktail strolls, just so maybe students who haven't been to Durham or international area can get formed and everything. We've also got the idea that kind of
that goes on in the park could also be implemented in the tent so everyone can kind of get involved. We also think it would be a really great idea if throughout the day there was and don't really want to come down to the bar in the evening can also get involved. If possible, we'd love to have some trips for outside of Scotland, like bowling or like lemon doing for those girls, and maybe like an alternative to the Newcastle night out. And I think we'd be pretty good leaders or implementers of this because we've got quite a lot that's going on the post office visit days in March, where we worked really closely with New Planet in Belfast, and basically I think on those post office visit days we figured out what works really well, so things like advertising the chilled space, so people who just want to take a break from dancing can access it, things that are interactive, and yeah, I think that's
So, yeah, thank you very much for listening to us. We hope you consider us as your children. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah and Arthur, and if we can now welcome Serena onto the stage.
Hello everyone, my name is Shireen. For those of you who don't already know me, I'm a first year. I take part in SDT, folk band, netball, Starsock and international club. My motivation to put myself forward was partly because of personal preferences. I'm not an avid drinker, but you're still going to see me at SNK and trees having a mad of the time. You are welcome to that fun. I'm aware of the importance of a good sesh though, and teaching freshers how to down it, obviously. But there are those who dislike loud music, those who don't drink for various reasons, individuals who, let's be real, kind of need a bit of a boogie break during the week because it's freshers, people who aren't the right age to start going to clubs because they're internationals, for example, and also those from quiet flats who can't face going to the bar events alone. I'm therefore super keen to provide a space where freshers can make friends where there's obviously still a fun atmosphere, but maybe with a little less drinking. I want activities focusing on people getting to know each other, and if it comes to just having a good old chat, then so be it. I definitely don't want there to be a divide between the chilled freshers and the regular freshers, and I'm going to work for that. To do this, I think it would be great if we were to have things like a flat roulette where you have people from different blocks randomly being selected and you have random, say, activities to do together. Because I know often people from different flats in Freshers Week, they don't mix and then you have stigmas. So I think it's great if you went to isolate quiet flats like that. It might also be awesome to have chill bar times where people don't need to feel daunted and they can come in here in the evenings, have a bit of a quiz, which will also help promote JVs, which is great. It would be really, really exciting if we could have cinema nights, like tickets, seats out, whole shebang done. If we could also have music nights, because last time in Freshers it ended up being like a campfire sing-along. That was really awesome, I really liked that. Basically something to get everyone engaged and enthusiastic about it. I think definitely for me, strolls will continue. I love how there were two sides on the bar stool, so you have the chill one, so if you don't want to drink or you want to drink less, you can join in, regardless of if you're going to a bar or not. Selfie bingo would be great. You can familiarise yourself with the different parts of Durham, you can Butler itself. Baking sessions and sign-up sessions, that would be very cool, self-paced colleges. I want our future freshers to get interacting, to see one another and feel happy. Don't want to just chuck them into the party scene. So I've had experience in team playing and leading. I'm no stranger to that, so I'm going to be boring and list a few things that I've done, so rest assured I can do stuff. School open day reps, school leaders, open day speeches, leaders committee, charity reps, treasure, and thank you. Done.
Thank you, Mr. So we can also welcome back Mel and Aisha onto the stage, and we have some questions from the audience. Any questions? We get them out there.
So I know a lot of the private students were actually this year were a bit intimidated by the large setting of the children. So I know that a lot of people this year, because I actually didn't know anyone. So what do you think?
I was really quiet that I didn't really know many people that were going to the bar, so the bar was really big and intimidating. I then went to the marquee and there were loads of people who came in their flats and I was also very intimidated. I loved how there were about 3 or 4 people sitting outside of both the marquee and the bar telling people what's what. I also think that having our reps going into the flats to explain the evening routines, that's really useful. Potentially we could have people meeting up beforehand who know that they want to go to certain activities, so they get to know each other first, and like flats or a smaller room, and then you can transport them into the locations for the event. I think that would be quite useful.
Okay, so I think Sheree made some really good points, and definitely while the tent provides a really good base, it can seem quite intimidating. So therefore we could, if we had a big enough chill team, we could do kind of maybe where we talk to them first, or maybe bring some board games or something to them, like kind of break the ice without it being like an awkward situation, but or also have a sort of like a buddy kind of team, someone else who's in a similar situation, bring them together, and then like kind of encourage them. But if they're happy, just kind of talking to like parties, I think sometimes just finding somebody to talk to is what they need, and then from there they can decide whether to go to the tent or not. But I think like the buddies.
Any questions for that?
We've actually talked about maybe possibly a like mini team of children reps, and maybe could we have the idea of having kind of strolls and events outside of Butler, maybe split the duties. I would like one of us is kind of leading the tent tonight, and one of us is doing the things that are outside of Butler if we can get them going. Yeah, I think the fact that there's 2 of us, and I think sorry, one sec. Basically, our whole thing is about rebranding, making it inclusive for everyone, whether it's people who are quiet or people who want to take a break from dancing. And if that works out, I'm anticipating there'll be quite a few more people who want to use the chilled facilities like the 10 or tea and toast. And if there are more people, I do think having 2 people kind of split the duties will probably make it a bit more effective, make more facilities available to more people, I guess. So, yeah, I definitely split it between us in Butler, out Butler, 10, not 10, things like that. So, yeah.
So I think the advantage of being individual, it doesn't mean that I'm your boss, it means that I'm a team player, it means that I'm going to be able to include more people. I think also by doing that, we can include more reps. So we can split the team into chilled and regular, but still have more people managing the events here. Or even if we want to go have day events, I don't know, in Newcastle or whatever, we can have so many more people being included and helping with managing things. We can even like have welfare teams helping us out, because I know that it's quite important to keep that into consideration when we've got crashes and hundreds of people in seat deprivation and stuff like that going on. So yeah.
This is the lesson is going to be one, so if you're around the floor, so the next lesson is the winter ball ceremonies. You've got the Holly and Jake back there in the middle. Lovely to there. I always think it's like what they it's going to so everything we have here on the fact that they first and always balls, please. and you also decide the level of here.
So hi, I'm a First Languages student.
And I'm Camille, I'm a first year computer scientist.
So we're running for Winterval chairs because we'd love to have the opportunity to organise one of the biggest events in the Butler social calendar. Having enjoyed and learned a lot from the post-offer visit days in March, which we ran together, we would love to be able to put on another exciting event in the college, but this time on an even larger scale. Planning and executing the open days has given us a lot of experience in running a complex event, but also managing quite a large team. And we'd like to think that we both showed a lot of passion and commitment throughout the course of the process. But we also realised just how much satisfaction it gives us seeing other people enjoying an event that we put on, and recreating that at Winterval would make us extremely happy. So we feel we'd be particularly good for this role because we work incredibly well together, we're dedicated in everything we do, and we're an efficient and organised team.
As for more of the technical details about Winterval itself, we've given a lot of thought to the theme. We have a couple of specific options we'd like to pick for a kind of overarching umbrella, but we don't want to reveal that just yet. We'd rather wait for the kind of traditional clues in first term. But we do know we'd like to make everything stick to the theme as much as possible, so publicity, decorations, and so we'd like to liaise a lot with our Winterval committee for that. We've given a lot of thought as to how we want that to look and function. We want a small team, about 4 to 6 individuals that are highly creative and highly organised, so we can sort of liaise with them about all the aesthetic decisions of the ball, see what works best in terms of feasibility and practicality, and what works best for the college, as well as kind of delegating to them smaller tasks and little minutiae, so we can trust them to do the smaller things while we take control of the bigger picture. And I feel like we've learned a lot about delegation and team management from the open days, so we'll be able to do that efficiently and fairly. In terms of the budget, we've never managed sums of money quite this large, but we have a good eye for detail and we absolutely adore spreadsheets. When we close our eyes, we see Excel green. You should have seen our massive one from the open days. And I've got a good understanding of the kind of considerations that go into deciding what kind of gets approved for the budget from Finance Committee. I'm going to sit on it occasionally to minute as Vice Chair, so I know the kind of procedures we have to go through to make sure things are the best value for money for the JCR. And we have a great working relationship with the staff and the new exec as well, having worked with them a lot over the open days. So we know that whenever we need help, we'll know exactly where to go and who to turn to, and who to cooperate with to make this event the best it can be for college. And that's really why we're doing it. We're doing it for college. We've both got quite a bit of a hosty personality, such that when we see people having fun because of something we've put on, something we've organised, it makes us incredibly happy, over the moon. So we hope you'll vote for us to give us a chance to make that dream a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Camille and Lily, and if we could please welcome Darcy and Rachel to the stage. Good luck,
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Dawn. And I'm Darcy Gomer. And we would absolutely love to be your Winterval chair. We've both been to 2 Wintervals each, and it's always the highlight of Nicholas' term.
As we'll be in our final year, we really want to be a key part of such a fun and well-loved event at Butler.
In terms of workload in our final year, we're both anthropologists, so I think that says quite enough about our contact hours. And I wouldn't be surprised if we spent more time planning Winterval than on our actual degrees.
We're also so good at motivating each other and supporting each other with our work, so doing the same degree is a massive advantage.
In terms of experience, I've been assistant social chair for the past 2 years, so I have a really good understanding of what goes into events at college, as well as practical stuff like budgeting and risk assessments, having worked closely with Brian and Amy.
And I've been in charge of organising a number of balls during senior school, which were all really successful. I had an art scholarship too, so I have a real creative flair and will be able to make the theme work really, really well. Being self-proclaimed perfectionists with a real eye for detail, we are more than capable of taking an idea and making it happen.
We're really good at problem solving too, so you can be rest assured that the day will be as hassle-free as possible. Sorry, I've lost my place. Both of us are outgoing people that don't shy away from taking on good projects, as well as being friendly and approachable.
We're really excited to form a committee and get everyone as involved as possible through sharing ideas and getting people to help bring our concept to life.
So our plan is to go for a Game of Thrones theme.
Theme Iron Throne photo walls, decorations with a real wow factor, and we're thinking of getting real life character lookalikes to come along on the night as well. We don't want to give too much away so early on, but we have some really exciting ideas.
We've also already been in contact with the venue and are confident that we can get a really good deal.
We've spoken to the ops team who have confirmed that our ideas are actually achievable. And even if you're not a Game of Thrones fanatic, the night will still be really, really fun with an exciting ride as always and food stalls for events.
So clearly we are very, very keen. It's our last ever winter ball, so you can trust us that we'll be really dedicated and make it the best ball so far. Thank you.
Okay, so any questions from the audience?
So to choose the committee, we probably put out a post on the JCR page, see who's interested, get some people involved, maybe have a meeting to sort out who wants to take part, and possibly get some people to do some husks for which roles they want to take part in the committee, and then get a nice little vote going, bit of democracy. Yeah, get people interested.
So we want to really emphasise the creativity of our Winter Ball committee. So we're thinking of basically nicking an idea that Jay suggested to us of multimedia applications, being able to apply for the position in any medium you want, and then after kind of weeding out the short list of people, we go through a short interview process to kind of decide who would fit our requirements best.
Any questions?
So yeah, we were really, really happy with the venue. We thought it was a brilliant event. I have to say it's one of the highlights, I think, of my year, definitely. I think what we would do is we'd have a look at some other venues and see what they kind of have to offer. We've heard good things. So we talked to operations, and they said Ramside are really professional and will create quite a smooth running event, which is nice to have that sort of guarantee. So I think it's definitely a possibility. We might think about using the foyer area a bit differently for Ents and want to change some things up. So possibly use the same venue, but definitely create our own experience.
Yeah, we'll be looking at what kind of presents the best. Oh, sorry.
So I think to quite a few balls at Ramside Hall, they've always been a success. So if it's not broken, then don't fix or whatever phrase, I don't know. We've already spoken to them. They're going to give us a great deal. Yeah, it always seems to work, so why change it? I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to the message out on social media, but also it's quite nice to have the Winter Ball be the slightly cheaper ball, so we want to try and keep quite a tight budget on it, and yeah, try and make it as accessible to as many people as possible. Hopefully get some more, I feel like it's an aim for most Winter Balls to try and get like second and third years more involved, so hopefully we're going to do some different coach pick-up, drop-off areas, yeah, just try and keep as many people interested as possible.
As I understand, the kind of limited space that Ramside provided meant that the tickets for our Winter Ball were sold out in, I think, like a minute and a half. So there's a real kind of exclusivity to Winter Ball. And I think that was helped by the really strong kind of promotional publicity kind of brand image that Jake and Holly and their team created. So we'd be looking at publicising at least as well, if not better, as the previous board chairs, and just making sure the entire college know about it, as well as the results.
Any other questions? Georgia, in the corner there. So how are you going to decide which day to post the board on?
Yeah, so that definitely will be a consideration because we want to make sure as many people can come to the event as possible. We haven't got a decided date yet, but yeah, we'll definitely take those sorts of things into consideration. And yeah, there's definitely like ability to sort of move it. We'll have to talk to the venue as well, see when they're available. But we'd obviously, if we did get elected, we would start sorting out venues, since that'd be like our priority. So we get that sorted because that's like the main thing.
I don't really have much else to say other than, of course, we'd make sure that everyone can come along. I think that Roundside have certain deals on certain days, so we'd probably look at the weekend if that works better for you. But again, polls or whatever, and we'll definitely look into it.
If you've got any questions, any questions or anyone? Okay, so the next section is going to go online. So I think we have a round of applause for our candidates. And so the next election is the correct election. So if we could please have any zero first, any zero for Morgan, Tom, Harry, and Star, and the target is for them. So thank you. So if you want to decide what to select to go first. Sometime today, guys. Okay, so if you please welcome Hannah, Sarah, and Tom Harry to the stage.
Hi, we're Hannah and Tom, and we'd love to become your head reps. I'm a first year law student, and I play for DU lacrosse, college lacrosse, and I'm part of Christian Sock. And this coming year, I'm also the events officer on the Bar Sock exec.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm also a first year, but I do maths. I'm also a proud member of the Butler Bee Dons. In terms of organisational skills, I've been in charge of large-scale events at school, including school festivals.
And we both really enjoyed the post office visit days, and that gave us such a good insight into what it actually takes to pull off an event that big. Having done that, we spoke to the exec, the staff, and both current and past freshers. So that was important, so we could try the feasibility and interest in all the ideas we've got.
Firstly, we thought Nancy and Hannah did a brilliant job last year, but we just got some new ideas we'd like to just use to build on their success. Firstly, we're going to keep the classic flat visits, but in addition to this, we'd also like each flat to meet a member of the exec of the week. In this way, we're going to see basically get an insight into the JCR from day one.
In terms of our themes, our new ideas include the jungle safari, which we're going to keep as green as possible by trying to get recycled cups in the bar that night. A glow-in-the-dark UV neon night, which we've run past TechCom and also sourced online already. And then also a Hawaiian beach theme, which we're really interested in taking way beyond the costumes to include things like cocktails in the bar, what that side is, and also mocktail making or cocktail making at Breeze. We also plan on obviously keeping the traditional Butler colours and also the Newcastle Night Out, which feedback showed was like a big favourite with everybody.
We also really want to gas up the daytime activities. So by this, what we're going to do is we're going to improve the advertising. We're also going to make the day activity for us more relevant. For example, what we're going to do is we're going to show the freshers the essentials in town, from Tesco and the bank to Clues and the coffee shops.
It's so important to us that Freshers Week isn't just the 1 week, but it's actually 3. We really want to work on the transition between International Week, National Freshers Week, and the first week of term. To do this, we're looking to work really closely with the head chill reps to have themed chill nights. We want to make sure that as much effort is put into those that are staying in as going out. For example, we're looking into having an international themed chill night, which would have themed music and food. That means that there's something for everyone and making it a viable alternative, not just a second best.
I mean, clearly we've all experienced freshers, and we've all gone into the first week of lectures. And we all know it's a huge change. One thing we want to do is we want to introduce a subject branch. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to have a second year who you'll be able to meet who does the same subject as you. This means it'll be a way of picking up your flats, and also it's just a way to get some reassuring advice. Of course, we know it's Freshers Week. The focus is going to be on the freshers, but realistically, it's the prep team that make it happen. And what we want to do is we want to make sure their experience is the best it can be as well.
And because of this, for all the wannabe freps out there, the idea we're most excited about is the project managers of each day. This means if you're a frep that wants to get more responsibility, you're going to have the chance to get it. You'll be able to put your own stamp on the day and oversee the daytime and evening activities. We'll obviously help with guidance of everything, but it means that freps who want to have an opportunity of leadership will be able to put their stamp on the day and make it more individual.
Another frep role will be the social media manager. This means...
Sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Paul and Hannah, and if you please welcome Emily Duran and Paris Burns on stage, please.
Hi, I'm Emily. And I'm Keris, and together we want to be this year's head preps.
Freshers Week is a crucial time for every student starting university. We both had such a great time during our Freshers Week, and it really helped us kick off our time at Butler in an amazing way.
Our Freshers Week showed us many of the different ways there are to get involved in college life at Butler, kick-starting many of our current commitments. I joined the Butler Ultimate Frisbee team and am now the social sec. I walked in this year's charity fashion show and performed in the Murder Mystery Formal.
I've joined Butler Tigers, JB's bar staff team, social com, and have helped to organise both winter and summer ball. I was also an open day rep this year. We think it's really important to continue the emphasis on getting involved during Freshers Week so that this year's freshers can make the most of college life also.
We believe we have the dedication, passion, leadership qualities and organisational skills to run a fantastic Freshers Week. And we realise that the week is both highly anticipated and also quite nerve-wracking for some people.
Because of this, we want our Freshers Week to cater for everybody. And so we want to pair a bar or club event with a more relaxed evening, such as Newcastle Night Out with a cinema trip.
We'd also like to introduce the idea of a boat party on Prince Bishop to Butler Freshers Week. This would give people staying at college a chance to experience a more relaxed atmosphere in the bar, as we would hold a karaoke night or pub quiz as an alternative.
Our ideas for theme nights include All Around the World, Outer Space, Throwdown, the Four Seasons, Bongo Bingo, and of course Butler Colours on the first night. We also want to acknowledge the ideas of the prep team and give them the opportunity to support and have larger roles in running any events they come up with that we think are feasible.
From talking to current first years and from our own experience, we realised that there weren't enough daytime activities last year, and so we want to improve this by running activities such as an inter-block sports day, more flat mixing sessions and tours around Durham.
We also want an emphasis on a green Freshers Week. Our plans for green activities include planting daffodils and poppies on the mound, and working with Green Common allotment stock to plant houseplants in the allotment, and so the freshers have a more homely environment in their rooms.
After speaking with the current international officer Judith, we understand that feeling homesick and sometimes left out are two of the hardest things international students have to deal with, and we therefore want to make sure that they have lots of support and that the events being run are inclusive to everyone.
We'd like to place a large emphasis on prep welfare also, as we recognise prepping is very tiring. This will mean planning a fair and rota early and in advance, and creating space in the JCR for preps to go and chill during their free time of the day.
We're also aware of the operation review changes taking place and have spoken to Karen, the operations team and Tom and Jace to make sure that our ideas are viable. We will stay updated concerning the changes to make sure that Freshers Week remains as unaffected as possible.
Overall, we want to give freshers a life-changing Freshers Week, which introduces them to their new home, just in Butler.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily and Paris, and if you could help over Paris and Emily to the stage.
Hi guys, I'm here, this is Ellie, and we are both first-year geography students, and together believe we have the leadership skills, experience, and approachability to achieve success in the role of head friends.
Our overall goal is to build on the success of last year's record and achieve an inclusive, memorable Freshers Week that all enjoy.
A major change we would like to make is moving the Newcastle Night Out to the week after Freshers. We have spoken to Social Care Bryony and agreed to help organise it the week after, so that opportunities to go are still available.
At several threats, we understand how stressful the responsibility is of looking after 400 freshers in a large city. Therefore, we have been in contact with players to provisionally book a bougie bagel event.
We reviewed the budget and understand that £1,890 was spent on coaches alone to Newcastle last year. This event at Players will accommodate over 400 people and it will come to £1,200. We understand this wouldn't be possible to host an event like this in college after speaking to Mandy Richards-Key, and from our experience at hosting a bingo at Post Office Day, we don't have the capacity to host this in college.
We have taken into account all the changes happening with regards to the operations team, not trying to minimise the impacts to ensure freshers remains consistent. Therefore, with the extra cash and the potential contribution of 3 sponsors, we can begin to find the best possible solution to mitigate the effects of these changes.
Other events we have planned include an out-of-this-world psychedelic disco, a Hawaiian-themed shit shirt night, and an 80s vs 90s returners night, and many more ideas, including children's events like a trip to Gala Cinema, one of our potential sponsors, which will be closely coordinated with the children international teams.
With the decline in people using Zines, we want to incorporate the idea of an Instagram page. On this page, we'll post meet with reps posts that reps can give advice to freshers. We'll post regular Q&As on the page so people can answer anonymous questions. We will aim to promote societies and college involvement before freshers arrive by following accounts so the freshers can engage with their interests before arriving in October.
Strapping on fresher welfare is vital in ensuring a successful and inclusive Freshers Week. With regards to fresher welfare, we will sign livers out a flat to encourage integration with college, as well as coordinating all events with children international reps, as well as welfare drop-ins throughout the day.
To ensure fresh welfare, we will provide weekly updates via group chats to let reps know what is being done and what needs to be done. Designate a room for rep downtime, attempt to organise a flexible rota whereby reps can accumulate time off. We would like to create a separate room for tea and toast to take pressure off welfare, so all the drink freshers don't flow straight into the toast after the bar closes.
Finally, we plan on having completely anonymous applications to ensure a diverse and dedicated team. We will only be using Jira codes to judge applications, so your name will not be used at all.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, David and Ellie, and if we could welcome Georgia and Miss on the stage, please.
Hi, I'm Mitch, a first year studying chemistry.
And I'm Georgia, also a first year studying primary education, and we want to be your head reps.
Our very similar personality traits of being sociable, approachable, and confident has meant that since our own Freshers Week, we've become best friends.
We both feel very passionately about Butler, and we want our freshers to feel as welcomed as we did.
Our desire to become head reps stemmed from working together as reps during the post-offer days. Our organisational skills were put to the test when we led a small team overseeing the flat cooking.
When complications out of our control occurred, we showed resilience by thinking on our feet to ensure that the day could run smoothly.
We thoroughly enjoyed working with new people, as well as facing the challenges that we were presented with.
Working alongside the operations team and Jason Tom, we've thought of some ideas for our Freshers Week.
We'd love to introduce Butler's Bongos Bingo, a concept which incorporates one of Britain's most loved games with a twist, which includes a disco with daft prizes to be won throughout the night.
These prizes range from Freshers Uni essentials, as well as vouchers from local businesses such as our very own JBs.
In our opinion, the Newcastle Night Out is a key part of Butler's Freshers Week, which we'd love to keep. However, in collaboration with the Chill team, we'd like to make this event available for people who don't enjoy clubbing as well.
Our idea is to hire Mr. Mulligan's Mini Golf, which is an indoor space-themed mini golf course for those looking for a more chilled night but also want to experience Newcastle.
We don't want our Freshers Week to appeal to just those who enjoy drinking. We want it to be a Freshers Week for all.
This leads us on to the return of tea and toast. Working alongside the welfare team, we understand that whilst it's a fun place that we can bond over food, it's also a safe space that acts for people who are feeling homesick or lonely.
Butler is proud of its emphasis on welfare, which is why we make it a crucial aspect of our Freshers Week.
From our own experience, we appreciate how daunting it can be to move into a new block of people, which is why we introduced an inter-block competitions.
We do this by flats competing in competitions such as limbo and lip sync challenges to win prizes and have a block winner.
Alongside this, we've run our Butler's Award ceremony, where freshers will be invited onto the red carpet to win awards such as Butler's Biggest BNOT or most likely to be JCR President.
This will allow freshers to get to know each other better and is a light-hearted way of looking back on the week.
One thing we wish we had a bit more about in our own Freshers Week was photos. So working with our prep team, we've made sure that we photograph and video the unforgettable week and mash it all together to have a big Freshers Week video.
For our day activities, we'd like to offer a town tour every day so that our freshers can become familiar with the city they're going to be living in.
By offering this every day, it eliminates the chances of people missing out due to academic commitments.
Also, as a way of giving freshers a breather during the busy week, we would run taster sessions alongside our Butler Sports Day, in which we will take our freshers back in time for their childhood with activities such as the egg and spoon race.
During all of this, we will be working with International Com to make sure that our international freshers felt welcomed into college and a part of our unique community.
Finally, we appreciate that preps will need some time to relax and chill during the busy week, which is why we would make a room available in college for them to rest during downtime.
We'd also create a rota to ensure that if preps were working a late night, then they'd have a lie-in in the morning.
As best friends, we already spend so much time together, and we'd love to spend our summer working on this project, planning for what will be an incredible Freshers Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. So if you could welcome all candidates back onto the stage, please, and we will take questions from the audience. So, any questions from the audience? So how would you make the correct selection process truly anonymous?
Well, I think obviously that would be a natural issue. For example, I know what subjects my mates do and what clubs they're in. So also directing the questions away from that. Certainly, I don't need to know what degree you do. That's not as relevant. So that's not even a question that perhaps needs to be on there. But more things like how would you make the experience better for other people? What would you do about prep welfare? What would you do about fresher welfare? Things that won't really give away your personality. Yeah.
Anonymous. We would do the anonymous forms that were done for the open day repping team, and then we would also conduct interviews afterwards. But in a case of making it a non-bias or electing, we just would go off who's the most reliable and who answers the questions most effectively in interviews. And like Hannah said, we'd focus questions more on how you would deal with situations and looking after people at the time.
Well, you're judging the application on its merits, so I completely look at the merits, not at the actual person, I would know the person. But as well, like Hannah said, nice open questions that they would answer, but as well as like you have the interview as well, and you know, you can write whatever you want in the anonymous answer, but if you provide that in the interview as well, that's a great merit to them. So I say having nice open questions, judging the application on what they've actually done and kind of their experiences. And just also as well, having other members present when choosing, going through the anonymous applications, so for example, like Tom and Jay, so you've got a non-biased kind of people there who will effectively overrule you if you have bias in some way.
I think firstly we'd be looking for a wide range of skills, which means that even if experiences are put on, of course they're beneficial, but we're looking for lots of different things that would make a good prep, which we'll look at. The other thing is we would like to work with members of the exec that perhaps also don't know people applying, and that way we have a slightly bigger team in the application process to make sure that we haven't got any bias towards anything and it really is truly anonymous.
Thank you. So, any questions?
We have been looking at providing maybe breakfast alternative for people in the morning, for people who don't maybe have academic hours. But throughout the day as well, we want to collaborate with societies and have taste sessions all the way throughout the week. So people are on board and it's all something to do for everyone.
So one of the ideas we propose is we can have a backup breakfast, especially for the preps, because obviously the prep welfare is key in these sort of events. One other thing we'd like to do is, completely lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, that's it, sorry. We'd also like to increase a lot of prep versus freshers sports. So in that we'd have football, we'd have ultimate frisbee, that sort of thing. But we'd also like to increase some like chilled events. And then alongside this as well, we'd also like to increase the tours to mention that speech.
Yeah, so sort of what we mentioned in our hearts, just making sure there's a bigger range of daytime activities. So the sports day, more flat mixing sessions, because I think last year we literally only mixed with one flat, and that was the flat opposite us. So like we didn't go into, because we're in Willow, we didn't go into any flats in Millfield, so that would be nice, and Dilston as well. And also the tours around Durham, because I remember with the academic walk down, we sort of went to the site, and I had my first lecture at Elbert Riverside, and I didn't actually know what that was. So just having like nice like tours of Durham and saying like where Tesco is, where the post office is, just stuff like that I think would be useful, and having them run in the day would like give people more things to do.
Yeah, kind of building on that really, I think that our idea is to have quite a structured timetable so that people would know exactly where they would need to be at what time. Offering a wide range of activities would allow people to hopefully be quite motivated to get up and do things like we mentioned, our town tour. We would try and arrange these at different times of the day so that if there were academic commitments and things that people did have to go to, then they could attend them quite freely and make sure that they do get the town tour, as well as having chill things on like Mario Kart, the JCR Lounge, and making sure that people are aware of the taster sessions that are going on and our butler sports day as well.
I believe we have a question from Weston. So a lot of the planning process takes place over the summer. Are there specific plans on how to stay on top of it?
Well, as we mentioned in the hub, George and I all actually really spend quite a lot of time together. And we'd be very happy to work together, spend a lot of time with each other over the summer planning this. But also, not just with ourselves, but also with the preps. And that I think is just keeping on top of social media, making Facebook groups and like that. I mean, we would meet frequently together, perhaps as well, just meet up with the prep team as a whole over the summer to make a whole kind of day out of it, a bit of planning, go out in the evening, stuff like that, just to keep in touch with everyone over the summer.
Over the summer, me and Paris are quite close anyway, so we plan to meet up, whether that means travelling all the way to Jersey or just FaceTiming as normal. I also live locally, so I'll be able to contact local businesses quite easily and get in touch with people if it means meeting in person and organising things. It also means that we'll have more team meetings. Perhaps that means joint FaceTime calls with different teams of the FREP team over the summer. But generally, it's just keeping on top of things, organising, sticking to the budgets that we've already looked at from last year, and making sure that we're just organised and completely on task.
So obviously, we've already done a bit of pre-planning over Easter. That helped us work out what works best between me and Tom, whether that be like meeting or FaceTime. But in terms of the FREP team, one idea we had, because obviously you will have the group chat, but it's quite difficult to know what the most up-to-date information is because new ideas get sent, things get pushed up. We want to have a Google Doc online which everyone has access to, which only shows the most up-to-date information. So that way there's less confusion, also more communication. And also try and do as much of it beforehand to get more consent to what the FREPs want.
Again, me and Ellie do live quite close really now. I can't speak from each other on the train. We see them a lot. We FaceTime each other every day, which annoys me, I know. And then also as well as that, lots of group FaceTimes with Charlotte, of course, very important next. Charlotte, Lorna, Emmanuel, everyone's very important next year, all the exec. Important to kind of communicate with them what we're planning, and then as well as that also, we want to do a weekly group email to all our FREP team as well as the exec team, showing what we're doing for the week, if we want them to do anything, and kind of what our deadlines and plans and targets are. Yeah, just to keep everyone updated on what we've really want to have plans and what we want to move forward with and any issues we're having.
Okay, any other questions from the audience? On the phone,
So obviously a lot of you spoke about what you're going to do in college for Freshers Week, but I remember during our Freshers Week I had a lot of commitments within my academic department. So how are you going to ensure that freshers aren't missing out during daytime activities like commit to that?
So I think it would be important to like run, if we do run a tour or taster sessions, to have multiple like of the same thing on each day, so that say if people have stuff on the morning on a Tuesday, but they could make the same session in the morning on a Wednesday, and just making sure that there's a timetable that suits everybody. And so we would look at all the academic commitments and try and make sure that there's a time when everybody would be free and run the same session at different times on different days of the week to make sure that if they miss out on one day, there's an opportunity to do it again on another day.
So in preparation for this, we spoke to pretty much everybody we could around college. One of those was Karen, and she basically reminded us that basically the timetable we get from the university is incredibly late on. So one thing we're going to make sure is all our events are quite flexible, so we can put these into the schedule as soon as we know what's actually happening from DU, I suppose. One other thing we've spoken about is all the subject brunches. So of course, we're not going to put this, it's not to say going to put the physics one at the same time as everybody's in a physics induction. We're going to be able to move these around. And of course, with other events which are around all the disciplines, we're going to be able to repeat these like the tours around town.
And we'll ensure that all the major events will be held after academic hours, so no one feels that they're missing out on any of the big events that will be happening in college. And in terms of taster sessions, we'll try and keep up the commitments with society from the second week to try and ensure that more are available and more can go on so that everybody does get an opportunity to have a taster of something that they're interested in.
I think the key word here is probably flexible. I think we have to acknowledge that there is going to be some things that people aren't going to be able to attend because there will be academic commitments, but making sure that we've timetabled it correctly so that there will always be an opportunity for people to attend things if they want to, then we can make that happen. I just think that, we will make sure that obviously it works with everything going on in the evening, but to maybe keep the daytimes a bit more of a chill time of the day, having activities available for people to go to if they want to. But we also appreciate that Freshers is an incredibly busy time for everyone, especially with the late nights and the early mornings due to the academic commitments. So it'll be more of a thing that if you want to attend, you can. And speaking with Freshers, if they want to come to events they haven't been able to, maybe being flexible around them so that they can try and attend what they want to.
I think so that I believe we have a question from Lily. So how would you say your
Yeah, so the biggest change to our week would be moving Newcastle Night Out to the week after. And the reason we did that was because we spoke with Mandy, Richard and Keith, and I had my formal on Thursday, and that was my Newcastle Night Out. The form was brought forward by an hour, so a long time, and even still, I literally got out of formal, had to sprint to my room, sprint back here to get on the bus. Like, I was very, very late. We had literally 10 minutes. There was not a lot of time, so that's why we wanted to move it. And as well as that, as with Chloe's question, me and Ellie, we had academic commitments or college talks from 9 to 5, so we were busy all the time. So what we want to do is we want to have a question that allows a lot of opportunities, but does not stress people on time. Because I think that's the absolute stress of Freshers Week. Like, I mean, for me, I felt like this Freshers Week was kind of a bit more stressful due to everything that's happening so close to it. So we kind of just want to get people to relax in a time that can be very stressful. You're moving from home, you're moving to a completely new place. And we just want people to be relaxed and chilled and to interact with the activities.
I think two of the biggest changes that we're going to make are to Newcastle and to our interblock competitions, and just a little bit on each. One of the things we changed, or rather added to the Newcastle night out, is this chilled aspect of it, of having the Mr. Mulligan's crazy golf there. It means that everyone can participate in the Newcastle night out, not just people that like to go drinking or clubbing. The other thing is with the interblock competitions, is that we did go around a few of the other flats, as was touched upon earlier, but we want to add just a little bit more of a sense of purpose to that, and also to just try and get the flats to mingle a lot more. And these interblock competitions should hopefully be a way of flats not only getting to know other flats, but also flat members getting to know other members of their flat whilst they're getting to know each other in the first week.
Well, one of the reasons why me and Karis were up here asking to be head reps is we loved our Freshers Week and really wanted to be involved as soon as we saw Hannah and Nancy were organising it. We have both been involved in school activities as running for roles such as this since year 11, and we both wanted to make an impact, which is why we decided to do this. One of the reasons we wanted to change what put us to the first night is a lot of freshers felt a lot of pressure on what to wear on the first night and making impressions on other people, which is why we changed it from being on, I think ours was on the Monday. Another reason we want to add something to the Freshers Week is because Newcastle Night Out was amazing. However, we had it on the night for formal, which meant it was really rushed to get to the buses in time. So we've already found out what dates the formals are on, and we're moving Newcastle Night Out to a night where there is no formals, so there's no rush or pressure on students who want to go. We also want to add the boat party to our new agenda because it's a new and fun way for freshers to get involved, and it also creates an environment in the bar for people who want to chill and relax, but also experience the bar in a new environment, which is quite common on a usual night in uni. So yeah.
Aside from our main change to the Fret team being the project managers of the day, our experience with Freshers Week showed that, because I actually didn't go to all the nights out, I went to the chilled nights, and it was really, really nice to have like a conversation, chilled environment. But it did sort of feel like, oh, I'm here just because I'm not interested on the night out. We want to revamp those like a really alternative, interesting option. And also, like, as a second generation international myself, I wasn't at International Week, but it's something I'm really interested in. So by having that international theme chill night, that's a really big part of it. And also, we want to work really closely with the head chilled reps to make those really interesting and have the alternatives quite relevant. So for the jungle theme night, having a documentary night, or for the Newcastle night, having a chilled event in Newcastle, maybe not. We'll look into that. So our emphasis on a green Freshers Week, I think, makes our idea different to our Freshers Week and really unique. And we had the idea of planting poppies and daffodils on the mounds as they resprout every year, don't need to be tended to. And we've spoken to the ops team and they said that that would be viable, so we'd be able to do that. And also an emphasis on reusable, like water bottles in stash, and putting a big emphasis on helping the environment would be our unique idea.
One thing me and Hannah have been quite keen to portray to you is the fact that we know we're only the head reps. There's a prep team which makes Freshers Week happen. This is why we've come up with the idea of having individual days, having individual leaders if people want to do that. This would mean that every day would have an individual feel to it, and it would be completely different. For example, we'd have different sports, we'd have different themes, and of course, yeah, each individual will make a difference.
We want our freshers to be inclusive, diverse, and adaptable for all. We want to create the best experience for everyone and show Durham off in the best possible light it can be.
In terms of our Freshers Week, I know that working with you both will probably be quite enjoyable. Mitch and I are full of energy, enthusiasm, and we just want to portray that as much as we can. One of our ideas is that on the first night we bring a barbecue in, so that the freshers who have just arrived here, maybe travelling quite far, they can get here and get some food quite leisurely, rather than it being like quite a thing where they have to get shopping in. And the barbecue is quite an idea to be quite sociable, so that, you know, if you haven't quite mingled with your flat yet, it's somewhere you can go and you can talk to people. And as we mentioned with Tea and Toast earlier, food is always quite a talking point, and so I think that would be something that we bring new to our Freshers Week.
And so the final lesson of the night is publicity officer. So thank you just now, it's lovely. Thank you for publicity officers and fabulous job. And now, we're going to take you further into the happy to be very
Hi everyone, my name is Katie. I'm a first year geographer and I'd love to be your new publicity officer. I've been a member of PubCom since Freshers and found science workshops super useful, so I'd love to continue these because that's what shaped my learning and how I've got to the point that I am right now. I'd love to recruit new members into the Freshers Fair and anyone else, second year, third year, who wants to join as well. I want to make it more accessible, so using like apps on your phone and Canva, Photoshop, obviously it's really useful, but not everyone knows how to use it at the start. So with like software, you can transfer these skills and like build your portfolio or whatever. During my time so far, I've created material for various events, so the fashion show Polaroid, the recent sports formal. I'm part of the summer ball team, so all the videos that you've been like seeing that have been posted, I create them and I run the Instagram, as well as working with like Lily, Orla, and Emily. To expand publicity committee, I'd like to do collaborative sessions, so maybe with Artscom and photography committee. Maybe have some taster mound editing sessions, which is something I'd also like to try. I'd also like to spread the workload because I know it's a lot of work. So Isabel, the assistant publicity officer, getting to know her a bit better and working with her. Lily and other members that want to try stuff. Everyone's always welcome to come. It's nothing too hard, I hope. Even if you just try, I'd love to see you. If I'm unable to create something with bigger events that have budget, maybe contact the new +1 team, which is a platform for creative students. So they have like photographers, graphic designers, people that can do videos. I think that'd be something great if I wasn't able to do something. You've all obviously been blessed with Sam, and following his footsteps has been a real honour. Receiving all the amazing help, and it's just been a great learning curve so far. So I'd love to have the challenge for being your new publicity officer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Over the last year, college has been very keen to provide funding towards buying publicity resources.
So the people that come to publicity come, obviously not all of us have Photoshop, and I know that Sam, you've been talking to the company, so like bursary, sponsorships for like people who can have Photoshop. Also, I know that the Arts Room has the Photoshop software, but it doesn't work, so also trying to make it happen. And yeah, maybe like creative workshops, bringing people in to show new skills that I can't teach people. Yeah.
What's your favourite piece of creative software and why?
What do you mean, like a tool or Photoshop? Probably the Magic Wand tool, because without that, I couldn't do anything.
Any other questions from the audience?
Okay, so what do you think software is obviously but I feel like the obviously
Yeah, so Laura actually had a really good idea on her poster, which was the screens that are in the bar. You could possibly use that to publicise events, and so that would also reduce waste of paper. But you could also like put posters up around the flats. Yeah, Instagram's obviously really popular now. Facebook, you don't want to get spammed, but I'll have to think about other ways as well.
Any other questions? Okay, so the next session is going to go online, so if we can run for the page. And so everyone wants to do any business, that's all the elections done, versus the blocks. The elections are going to go online to all the electronic blocks, which you can have in your email boxes. And we would like to go over.
I see end stream there. Rude. Goodbye.